Fox News contributor Greg Jarrett says there cannot be two systems of justice in this country. Watch here.
This certainly blows a hole in any ability of Merrick Garland and the Department of Justice to go after Trump for allegedly mishandling classified documents. You can't say, oh, well, it's okay for Bill Clinton to have done that. It's okay for Joe Biden to have done it. It's okay for Hillary Clinton to have mishandled hundreds of classified documents. But, whoa, when Donald Trump does it, even though he may have declassified the documents and under the Presidential Records Act is allowed to maintain control over the documents, no. His name's Donald Trump, so we're going to go after him with a vengeance and threaten him with crimes.
All right, let's bring in South Carolina Congressman Ralph Norman, member of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, good morning to you. Former President Trump is responding to this news. He posted a Truth Social message saying, when is the FBI going to raid the many homes of Joe Biden, perhaps even the White House? These documents were definitely not declassified. Your response to all of this?
Well, I mean, just look at it. It's a double standard, Carly. I mean, double standard for a vice president who doesn't even, as Stephen Miller said, have the power to do that. Yet they raid all these homes. What about Joe Biden? I think he's got numerous homes. When are they going to do that? And you'll see now, it was in a locked closet at the Penn Center. And so let's see what the FBI does. And, you know, there's got to be consequences now. You cannot just overlook this as the mainstream media has done with the Bidens. And that's what's so great about what's going on now with our House leadership and the investigation that Jamie Comer is going to have. And hopefully we'll have consequences as well and get to the bottom of it.
Congressman, there's also the timing of all this. When the Mar-a-Lago raid happened, we all saw it in real time as it was happening. It was sort of like a documentary perp walk, if you will. This discovery of Joe Biden's documents happened in November. Why are we just learning about it?
Well, it's a dereliction of duty by the FBI, and you know it's unheard of. These are classified documents that have sensitive material that could really endanger this country and all of its citizens. So we'll see what they do, and that's why it's so great to have new leadership and get to the bottom of it and ask questions. We haven't had a oversight meeting since I've been over the Oversight Committee. It's all been just people that should not even, they're not intentionally wanting to find out anything if it relates to this administration.
Well, now that the speaker battle is over, Republicans are moving full steam ahead with your agenda. And your first order of business last night was to rescind billions of dollars in funding for new IRS employees, the 87,000 IRS agents. Vice President Kamala Harris responded to that action, saying, last year, President Joe Biden and I worked with Democrats in Congress to finally make sure everyone pays their fair share. Now is one of their first acts, and the majority House Republicans are rushing to undo that progress and allow too many millionaires, billionaires, and corporations to cheat the system. Is that what you're doing?
You know, it's another, Carl, it's just empty rhetoric this administration has. You know, when I stepped on the floor last night, there is a stark difference under this administration. It's fine when they gavelled in, it's by responsible, mature adults. Under the Pelosi, it's immature brats who really the only thing they've ever done is collect a paycheck. Now that they've done away with proxy voting, we moved through the rules. There was no division. I think one Republican voted against it, but passed overwhelmingly. So I'm looking forward to working this year, and you will see some meaningful changes that will directly affect American people in a positive way with all the hearings and the people they will call in, and I hope they will have consequences as well.
Okay, that said, Congressman, all indications are that this bill is dead in the Senate because obviously they have a Democratic majority there. What else can the House do to keep those 87,000 IRS agents out of middle-class pockets and bank accounts?
Well, the first step is just what we did. We voted on it, and we're going to hold the Senate accountable. None of us are in the Senate, so we can't control their actions. What our job is to pass it out of the House, which we did, and we'll pass many other things, and then we'll put the heat on the Senate, and we'll hold as many hearings and have as many press conferences asking the Senate, why aren't you moving on this? Why are you not doing anything? That we're not going to have another omnibus that really is an insult to every American taxpayer that is a part of this country. So I look forward to it.
Well, one of the things the Oversight Committee is going to focus on is the Biden family business dealings. James Comer said that we're not investigating Hunter Biden, we're investigating Joe Biden. So lay out what some of the key things the American people can expect. Will there be hearings and will they be public?
Yes, there'll be hearings. We'll have the subpoena power to get the people in that we can ask the direct questions. This is serious, Carl. I mean, the ties that the Biden administration appears to have with the Chinese government and compromising the national security of America. We got to get to the bottom of it. The same thing we have to do with big tech and the censorship that took place during the last election. So all the above that we're going to have to have people in. James Comer is a perfect person to lead it, and I think you'll see some startling facts that will occur over the next 6 months to a year.
Congressman Ralph Norman, got to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.